In this video, I'm going to share the 9 best daily habits you can have to transform yourself into an extremely productive and practically unstoppable person. I'd like to clarify that this is not a manual for success because the truth is that there are several paths to it and each person adapts better to a certain routine. But feel free to try and draw your own conclusions. Well, let's start. First of all, wake up before everyone else and don't hit the snooze button. When you wake up at the same time as everyone in your house, you are already surprised by the routine of others. But when you wake up earlier and dedicate yourself to doing things that are going to put you in a better state of mind, your day is already different. The problem is the fact that waking up earlier than you are used to will surely make you feel almost uncontrollable to hit the snooze button on your phone. But don't do it. The risk of waking up even worse is much greater. So just get up without thinking. The schedule can vary. I recommend that you start at 7 in the morning, but of course, that is my case. Everyone has a different routine, so adapt this to your reality. Habit number 2, make your bed. It may seem like a silly thing, but if you stop and think about it, it makes a lot of sense and can be very beneficial for your day. At least that is what William McRaven tells us in his best-selling book called Make Your Bed. In his words, he tells us that if you make your bed in the morning, it means that you will have accomplished the first task of the day. This will bring you a small feeling of pride and will encourage you to do another task after another, and so on. At the end of the day, you will realize that that small task has the range of drive to do several other tasks during the day. Beyond that, it reinforces the understanding that the small things in life also matter. Because if you can't do the small things well, much less can you do big things in life. The most amazing thing about this is that even if you had a terrible and unproductive day, when you get home, you will find your bed made and remade by you. This small fact will give you the stimulus that is needed to create the mindset that tomorrow will be a better day. Habit number 3, have a morning routine. Set a time for yourself to dedicate to your body and your mind in the morning. This is a moment just for you, where you can use it to read something inspiring or instructive. Write about something like things you are grateful for, or just organize your thoughts. You can also watch a motivational video to start your day better, or educational videos, like this one you are watching right now. Finally, you need to include some kind of physical exercise that will help you wake up and increase your energy. I am talking about 10 to 20 minutes, which will be great for you, especially if you do not have time to exercise during the day. It is not even necessary to list the benefits, since you surely already know them very well. The exercises can be jumping rope, pedaling on a stationary bike, doing push-ups, or any other activity that speeds up your heart rate and makes you sweat. This will be enough to release the hormones related to the feeling of well-being and make you feel more energetic. Habit number 4, start with the hardest thing. After you have done your morning routine, it is time to start producing productively. In the book, Eat That Frog, the author Brian Tracy explains the importance of starting your task with the hardest thing. He says that if you start the day by eating the frog, you will spend the rest of the day with satisfaction knowing that the most important and boring thing has already been done. So the rest of the day is likely to be easier. This task is so big and difficult that you might end up procrastinating if you leave it to do last. But usually it is the most important task you have to do. The author points out a very important rule. If you have to eat 2 frogs, eat the ugliest one first. That is to say, if you have 2 difficult and boring tasks to do, start with the biggest one, the most difficult and the most important of them. So remember, without realizing it, you can end up finding a way to procrastinate. Habit number 5, drink enough water. Most people don't give much importance to this, but the majority of health problems or diseases that people end up facing could have been avoided with this habit. The benefits range from better health to greater performance of tasks. And the fact is that the body stops working at its best when we are dehydrated. And this makes a lot of sense if we remember that 70% of our body composition is made up of water. So if you want to have more concentration, more energy, and less stress, drink water until your urine is almost clear. This is the ideal point. The amount can vary from 2 to 4 liters a day, depending on the person. Habit number 6, review your goals. It is useless to write down your goals and plans and then forget about them as the day goes by. You need to be attentive to know if you are following what you had planned and progressing, especially to have that good feeling of pride after each completed task. Since they work as small victories that will accumulate over time, at the end of the day, they will bring you one of the best feelings. Resting your head on the pillow and knowing that you have done everything you had proposed to do during the day. Habit number 7, take control of your cell phone. It may even seem strange, but the fact is that there are many people totally controlled by their cell phone. They say that the cell phone is the new cigarette, and in part, I think that it may be true. All that is needed is a small vibration, a notification noise, and those people already stopped doing what they were doing to find out what the new novelty on their cell phone is. The problem is that it is almost never something really important. Apart from that, you need to clean your cell phone to get rid of everything that is unproductive. And you already know what I'm talking about. Stop following people who only post negativity or gossip. Stop watching hours and hours of nonsense on Instagram. Leave the WhatsApp groups or at least silence them. And you know that game that you have downloaded on your cell phone and that you are probably addicted to? Well, delete it. Also, eliminate all those things until you feel that you regain the self-control that you had. Because one of the main factors of the lack of concentration and productivity at work and in study is the misuse of the cell phone. Habit number 8. During the day, you are likely to feel tempted to return to your old habits, those that will make you find a way to procrastinate or look for some momentary pleasure to help you deal with the stress that a productive routine causes you. In those moments, the only thing that will help you stay firm is to remember the reason, the purpose, why you are doing what you are doing. It is essential to have it very clear in your mind so that when your mind questions you about the purpose, you already have an answer. Then immediately, you must bring images of your future, the future that you want, to your mind. It can be the place where you want to live one day, the family that you want to build, the condition that you want to give them. In the end, each one has its purpose, and it must be something very strong for you, something that you really want. Because without that, it will be very difficult to say the necessary no sometimes and sacrifice certain momentary pleasures of life. Habit number 9, reserve 30 minutes before sleeping to reflect and plan the next day. The first step is to know exactly the time you are going to sleep, and the second is to set your alarm for 30 minutes before and use that time to reflect on how your day was. Reflect on what you have done well and how you can continue doing it the next day, and what went wrong so that you do not repeat it. Maybe at that moment you are in a bad mood, judging yourself for not having done enough and for having made bad decisions. If that is the case, divert your attention from that thought and focus on the next day, since you will have a new chance. Then promise yourself that tomorrow will be a much more productive day than the day before. Trust in this, since it will only depend on you. The result you expect may not arrive, but you will give everything you have to make it happen. Simply make your to-do list, trust in your goals, and go to sleep with that intention programmed in your mind. An intention that basically says, tomorrow I'm going to beat myself, and I'll be the best I can be.